How's it going, Enagic World? Rob Brodigam right here, coming to you live with a little screen share. I wanted to take this opportunity to share with you Enagic's 6A and above awards and incentives program. So these are essentially the bonuses that you'll be paid out once you hit 6A, 6A2, and beyond. So I'm going to dive right into a screen share. And guys, this PowerPoint, this set of slides that I'm about to share is actually publicly available. It's on Enagic's website. So I haven't found a video that actually goes in depth explaining every single thing, because some of the things are a little tricky, a little complex. I just wanted to break them down. I know a lot of members within our organization, within our business, are hitting 6A, 6A2 and beyond, and they have questions, right? So I want to take this opportunity. I'm going to film part 1 is just going to be focused on 6A and above, just 6A bonuses and all of the different incentives and awards. And then part 2 will be 6A2, 6A2-2 and beyond. So let me dive straight in to my slides right here and let's start things off. So the key to success, Enagic's business model right here, the comprehensive 6A award program. So let me just jump in and let's do a little summary first. This was actually effective in the beginning of 2013 is when Enagic implemented all of these awards, right? Now, the following promotional payments will be available to appropriate independent distributors. So we're gonna roll through and kind of show you what the appropriate independent distributors actually mean. So there are 4 specific bonuses, awards we're going to be touching on at the 6A bonus, and then also 6A and above. And then in part 2, we're going to focus on the 6A2 and above monthly and quarterly sales. So 6A, the title incentive, I'll dive into that. The 6A group awards, number 2. Number 3 is the Rising Step Up awards, and number 4 is the educational allowance. Now in part 2 we'll cover the monthly sales incentives and the quarterly sales incentives for 6A2 and beyond. Okay, so what kind of 6A awards do we have? How are they calculated? And what is a 6A2 incentive? Let's dive into 6A. So here are the 4, just to summarize them again. And let's start off with number 1, the title incentive. So this is a new 6A award. And basically what this is, guys, is as you hit 6A, you will be presented with a $3,000 bonus. Now, the one big key point here is you do need 10 group sales in the month you become 6A. So most of the members within our community, within our organization, promote, market, and sell the trifecta. So that's 3 products, right? Now you need 10. You need 10 group sales in the month to become 6A. So that could be 3.5 trifectas, right? You want to be sure that you have 10 points on your genealogy when you hit 6A. Okay, so the $3,000 bonus will be paid out as soon as you hit 6A. And that's pretty much the first award you actually receive upon hitting 6A. Now, this is in the month, right? This is in an actual month. So let's say January, for example, has 31 days. If you were to hit 6A in the month of January, you have those 31 days to build up 10 points total. Now in February, sometimes 28, sometimes 29 days, right? You have a few less days. So be sure that you have those 10 group sales in the month to become 6A. Now, depending on, you might want to double check, always call your Enagic office, the local office that you do business with, the office that you signed up with, and confirm with them before the end of the month, before you put that first sale in your 6A lane, before you put that first 6A lane sale down. You definitely want to confirm with them that you have the 10. Depending on where you get affiliated around the world internationally, there might be something along the lines of an UConn would only count as 1/3 of a point, right? So let's say you have 8 K8 sales, that's 8 points. You have 2 Inespa sales, that's 2 points. If you have 1 UConn sale, that might only be considered 1/3 of a point. You might need 3 UConns total to be considered 1 full point towards the 6A award bonus. So be sure you contact your local office about that. Okay, so that's number 1. Easy, right? $3,000. So number 2 is the 6A group sales award. Now, this is where it starts to get fun. This is where the money starts coming in, and you really don't even know where it's coming from unless you actually watch this presentation or read through all of the slides I'm presenting. So 6A group sales award. This is essentially it makes you work nonstop, right? It incentivizes you to work nonstop because it's an absolutely amazing plan. So what happens is, and the award amount calculated is actually dependent on how many total group sales within your organization there are in your open volume. We'll dive into that in just a second, and also how many direct sales you personally make. Okay, so this award will be paid out for the next 6 months after you become 6A. So this really incentivizes you to not be like, oh, okay, cool, I hit 6A, now I can just kind of let things slide and take a little time off and go travel the world, right? And take a little less, put a little less focus into my business on a day-to-day. It actually pays a lot more to continue hustling, to continue, right? You probably have a lot of momentum in your business at this point when you're kind of making that transition from 5A to 6A. I know I did, at least, right? So guys, it pays off for the next 6 months and 6 months only that this bonus gets paid out. So it gets calculated and paid monthly, and this is essentially how it gets calculated. So there's a couple examples here. It might look a little confusing, but I'm going to break it down for you. So this is example 1, and this is you right here, 6A. Now this bluish box is your 8-point range, right? Whenever you make an actual sale, if it's within your 8 points, that's your 8-point range. If you get paid 1 point commission all the way up to 4, 5, 6 points commission on that product sale, it's within your 8 points, right? So if you, and then everything after that is your open volume, everything including that 8-point range is your open volume. All right, and we're going to dive into that in another few slides. So if you made 6 open volume sales, 2 in your 8 points, those 2 little yellow circles, and then 4 outside of your 8 points, but you haven't made any direct sales. That's this specific scenario, this specific example. So this table is definitely something you want to refer to. And this is where it gets really powerful, guys, to not just make those group sales within your organization, indirect team sales, right? But also direct sales, at least 3 per month. So just to hit those little asterisks, the end note down here, the footnote, we have the definition of open volume sale is a sale that does not have any 6A between you and the sale, regardless of where it falls, if it's in your 8 points or not. So essentially what that means is if you have a 6A beneath you and they make a sale, that's not in your open volume, but everything in your personal organization, your personal downline to that first 6A is your open volume, okay? So this little table here, let's say, for example, you made 6 open volume sales. Well, that's gonna fall under the 5 to 9 category here, but you haven't made any direct sales, right? So direct sales, 0. You're gonna make $250 bonus in that month, in that first month after hitting 6A. Does that make sense? So to dive into example number 2, here you are again. Now check this out. Here are your 8 points, and here's your open volume. You made 3 direct sales, okay? 3 direct sales in this example month, right? So that's pretty reasonable. Probably when you hit 6A, you made a few more than that in a month, right? So if you had 15 open volume sales, okay? Now that's including everything, even including those direct sales. You made 15 open volume sales and 3 direct sales. How does that correlate over to our table? So that 15 is going to fall in the 15 to 19 category for total group sales, and you made 3 direct sales. So that's $2,500 bonus award sent off for that single month. Now you can do this 6 months after hitting 6A, so it only pays off to continue making those direct sales. You can really see, like, yeah, of course you can make anywhere from $200 all the way to $1,500 if you don't make a direct sale and you really just rely on team production and help your team succeed, right? Help your frontline grow, and even their frontline's frontline, right? Their team's team grow. It makes sense. You can still make these bonuses, but it's really going to pay off for you in the short run and the long run over the first 6 months to continue making these direct sales. Okay, you see how this kind of scales from literally from no direct sales to 3. You only need to make 3, and then your income is going to go from $200 up to $1,200, or from $750 up to $2,500, or even at 30 group sales, you would make $1,500 with no direct sales. But if you had just 3 direct sales, you would make $4,000, right? So you kind of see the power in that now, is making not just those, helping your team grow, but also making those direct sales. So that's the second one. That's the group sales award. Now to move into number 3, which is the 6A Rising Step Up Award. Now this one's really cool because it's not necessarily dependent on your production, but how you help your top guy, right? Top guy or top girl perform and reach 6A. So This award it's only for existing 6A distributors, and the award is paid to you when one of your downline, one of your team members becomes a 6A. So the amount calculated actually depends on how many new 6As had group sales in the beginning of the past month, but the award will be paid out to the closest 6A. So if you're 6A and a new member on your team hits 6A, you get paid out, right? The amount that is calculated will be paid to you for 6 months in a row. So it's the amount you get paid for the next 6 months is essentially only focused, right? It's only dependent on the month that your team member hits 6A. Does that make sense? So the award will be discontinued once you become 6A2. In other words, you'll be paid for 6 months for the first 6A on your team, but the second new 6A, and we'll get into this in just a second, will actually make you 6A2. So it's only paid out for 1 month, okay? So here are some examples, because I know it can get a little bit complex at this point, but I'm going to break it all down. All right, so example number 1, here's a little chart, and this chart actually is this is just a section of the chart. It actually goes from the step quantity of 1 all the way to 20, and I'll break that down. Those are PDFs available on Enagic's website under the 6A Awards and Incentives tab in the document download, so be sure to go take a look at that. Okay, but here's a little example. Here you are, you're 6A, you've been 6A for a couple of months, whatever it might be, and you've got Bob. Bob is 5A, and in the month that he hit 6A, he started the month with 92 group sales, okay? In the beginning of the month, he had 92 group sales. So that's gonna fall down between this 91 and 95 number for accumulated quantity at the beginning of the month. Now, obviously he hit 6A in that month, so he had those 9 direct sales. Now he's at 101 points or more. Okay, so what that means is he had between 6 and 10 sales, right? So it's kind of redundant here with the 2 columns, but essentially what that means is he started with 92, he got 9 more sales. This is the row that he falls into. So the $280, right? That's the bonus that you're going to be receiving for 6 months. So you get paid out a check every month for 6 months of $280 for a total of $1,680. Okay, so that's the first example. Example number 2, here we have you at 6A. And again, remember that if I go back a couple slides, the award will be paid to the closest 6A only. It's not paid to any 6As above. All right, so here we go. You're 6A. Now Bob's 6A already, right? Now he's got a killer on his team. Her name is Emmy. Emmy's 5A, and in the month that she hit 6A, she started with 88 sales, 88 points total. Now in that month, to get to 101, she had 13 sales, team sales, right, within her 8 points, and then a direct sale to put in her 6A lane, right? So what that means is she falls under the $320 category. All right, so $320 is paid out every single month for 6 months, for a total of $1,920, but that $1,920 doesn't go to you, it actually goes to Bob. So this is the one kind of example here that it only gets paid out to the immediate 6A. Does that make sense? All right, so now example number 3 is going to show you the power of, actually this one's going to show you an example of somebody hitting 6A when you already, in your team, when you already have someone under you in your organization at 6A. So essentially, you're going to rank up to 6A2, but let's look at the example. So you start the month at 6A. Bob starts the month at 6A. Emmy is already 6A from the previous example, right? But now direct to you or somewhere in another lane from you, and we're going to jump into exactly what 6A2 means in just a couple slides, right? There's this guy named Chris. He's also in your organization. Now, Chris, in this given month, was 5A, and you know what? He had 99 sales at the beginning of the month. And guys, I wouldn't recommend this because Chris, unfortunately, he only made 2 sales, right? So he didn't get the $3,000 bonus. So that's no good for Chris. But he did rank up to 6A. And by doing that, the 99 group sales at the beginning of the month falls into this last category. Now, that means $190 is going to get paid out. But since when Chris hits 6A, you have a 6A named Bob and a 6A named Chris in your team. You just ranked up to 6A2. So this bonus from Chris is actually only paid out for 1 month. So $190 paid out one time, 1 month when Chris hits 6A. The cool thing is you just hit 6A2, so you just got a $6,000 bonus as well. All right. So number 4 is the 6A educational allowance. Now this is really powerful because this literally starts the day you hit 6A and goes on until you hit 6A2 and beyond. So the educational allowance is an award that it's the company's appreciation, Enagic's appreciation to every single 6A who not just build the business for themselves, but also support and help their team. So the award will be paid out on sales that come under any 6As. So if you just hit 6A, you, for example, under a 6A, but below their 8 points. In other words, this award will not be paid out if a 6A receives any points out of the 8 points commission, right? So if you make a direct sale, you're not going to get an educational allowance. If your team's team makes a sale and you happen to get 1 point commission, right? And because all the other 7 are taken up, you're not going to get an educational allowance. However, if it's 8 points deep and you receive 0 points commission on the actual sale, right? You're going to be eligible for an educational allowance. And I'm going to show you how that breaks down per product as well. So the award will be paid up to 3 levels of 6As, paid from the bottom first and then up and up. And we have some nice diagrams to break that down. The amount of the award is different for each unit, okay? We have a table showing the exact amounts for each unit. And if the products are paid by Enagic Finance, the award will be paid out after the new member pays off the machine. So sometimes 10, 12, 16 months, whatever it might be. Or unless they, build the business, they have a solid income and they pay the entire Enagic financing off, right then and there, maybe that's 2 or 3 months in, you'll get paid out this educational allowance, all right? And this educational allowance is paid every single day. So a new sale comes in, as long as it's outside of your 8 points, right? As long as you wouldn't, originally technically get commission on that sale, you will get paid and they pay out every single day. So here's the breakdown of based on each product and the exact amount. So the only thing about this chart is this PowerPoint was actually updated back in 2013, and there's not a new one yet, but the K8 also pays out at the same exact amounts as the SD501. So you could just, put the K8 here as well, right? It's going to be the same exact as the SD501. So the first 6A with your SP point. Now, I'm going to assume that every single person watching this video is serious about the business. They're committed to their business, right? By the time you hit 6A, you guys better understand the SP point and the difference between commission with and without an SP point. So I'm not going to dive into that now. There are other videos on that. There's also a really good explanation on Enagic's website. So here's the thing. If you have an active UConn in your downline under your business name or under your personal name, you're good. You're good to go. You get the SP point. Essentially, all you need to do is make a direct sale every 6 months. So guys, if you're building the business, if you're legit about this, you have a direct sale every 6 months or well less than that. So, for example, let's see, an educational allowance for an SD501 or a K8 sold outside of your 8 points, and we have a good diagram to explain that, right, is going to make you $200. So that's $200 paid out every single time a SD501 or K8 gets sold outside of your 8 points. So if you wouldn't typically get commission on it, now you're getting an extra $200, all right? So let's say, for example, a trifecta, right? A K8 and a Nespa and a UConn, if we were to add up 200 plus 125 plus another 90, that's gonna be 325, what's that? About $415 gets paid out for every single trifecta sale outside of your 8 points. Now, the really cool thing is it's not just if you are 6A, right, you make that forever, but when you help one of your team members hit 6A as well, now they're going to be getting for a trifecta $415 total, right, outside of their 8 points. But since you're above them, you're the second 6A right here with the SP point, you're going to be making 50 plus 30 plus another 20. So that's $100, right? So the closest 6A is going to make 415, and then the next one up is going to make 100. And check this out, guys. Even the third 6A up is going to make 100. Okay. So here's some examples. Just a couple examples here. So you are right here, 6A. Now you've got Bob under you, right, from before, and you have Emmy under Bob from before, and they're all 6As. So when Emmy makes a sale, and she's not actually making a direct sale, when one of her team, right, at the point you're 6A, you're going to be making sales within your organization that you don't even get points on. So if Emmy were to have someone on her team's team make a sale that's outside of her 8 points, she makes 0 points commission on the actual sale, she's going to get a $200 educational allowance, and that's for an SD 501 or a K8 sold, right? So for a trifecta, $415. Here's the powerful thing, guys. Bob is also going to make $50 on that K8, and you are also going to make $50 on that K8. Okay, or for a trifecta, Bob will make 100 and you will make 100. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's the first example. Now over on the right side here, we have an example of if Emmy were to have someone in her team, her organization, make a sale within her 8 points, no educational allowance is paid out in general. Okay, so if it's close enough to the closest 6A, that the closest 6A does get commission, and Enagic doesn't pay out the educational allowance to anybody. Okay, does that make sense? So that is a pretty brief summary there of the 6A bonuses. Now let's just cover some of the 6A2 incentives and awards. And I'm gonna cut this video off at a certain point, all right? And then we're gonna dive into part number 2. So here we go, the 6A2 incentives. There are 2 of them, 2 main ones, right? The 6A2 8-level incentive plan on a monthly basis, and the same exact thing on a quarterly basis. All right, so let's talk about what is 6A2. What does it mean to be 6A2? So first off, how can we become 6A2? What are all these numbers people are throwing around, like 6A2-2, 6A2-3? What is a 6A3, a 6A4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So let's dive into the actual meaning of 6A2 and have some examples as well. All right, so on the left side here, we have examples of 6A2, what it actually means to hit rank 6A2. And I think you guys are going to understand this. It's a pretty basic concept. All right, so 6A2 needs to have 2 6As in their organization in 2 separate lanes. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's your first 1A lane and your second 1A lane, or your 2A lane and your 6A lane, or they could both be in your 3A lanes, right? But they have to be in 2 separate lanes. All right, so in this first example, you will be a 6A2 when you have 2 separate people underneath you that have achieved the rank 6A. Does that make sense? Example number 2 down here, you'll also be 6A2 regardless of where they are, as long as you have 2 6As in 2 separate lanes. So in this example, you have a 6A direct to you, direct sale, right? But then you have a guy who is a 5A, right? A guy or girl who's a 5A, and under them, someone built the business even quicker than them and they reached rank 6A before the 5A, you will still be 6A2 as long as you have 2 6As in 2 separate lanes. All right, so here's another example. It doesn't matter if there's 6As stacked on top of each other. You have one 6A on the right lane here and another 6A here, right? And then you have another one down here, which is awesome, but it doesn't do anything else for you really in terms of bonuses or ranking up with Enagic. Okay, but once I actually dive into the 6A2 and above bonuses and awards, this is going to be a really powerful scenario, so just keep that in mind. Same thing here with with the 4th example here, guys, is you have a 6A here direct to you. Beneath them, there's a 6A. Now over here, check this out. You actually have a 6A direct to you, and this person right here has 2 direct 6As in 2 separate lanes. So this person's actually a 6A2, okay? They're a 6A2, and this person's a 6A, but you technically only have, you don't have 2 6A2s, which is going to be in the next example, right? So you will still only be a 6A2. Does that make sense? Okay, So those are examples of 6A2 of 6A2s. Now these are examples of what is not a 6A2. If you have 6A, 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 6A stacked on top of each other, you have 4 of them, 10 of them, 100 of them, it doesn't matter. You will still only be a 6A. Okay? Assuming you put in your direct sale in your 6A lane. Okay? Now, same thing here. If you have a 6A2 beneath you who has a 6A and a 6A in 2 separate lanes, right? That's awesome. You have someone on your team who's 6A2, but since you only have one strong leg, right? You don't have that other 6A to boost you up to rank 6A2. Does that make sense? So, building wider, building deeper, here we go. 6A2-2. All this really means, guys, is you have 2 6A2s under you. And in order for these people to be 6A2s, they need to have those 2 separate lanes of 6A under them. So the same exact theory here, right, is you need 2 6A2s in 2 separate lanes. That'll make you a 6A2-2, okay? This number right here, the first number, so 6A2, the number 2 right here means the numbers of 6As you have wide, where the dash number means the numbers of 6As deep, right? Does that make sense? So here's 1, 2, 6As wide. That's this number. Now the dash 2 means 1, 2, 2 levels deep, okay? And here's an example of 6A2-3. So all this is, if you were to take this entire organization and double it, right? Essentially, this organization right here is just one of these legs, okay? So in order to be 6A2-3, you need 2 6A2-2 members in your team, in your business, in 2 separate legs, okay? And everything else we've talked about before still applies, okay? So again, we have 6A2, so the 2 is the number of 6As wide, whereas the dash 3 means the number of 6As deep, right? 1, 2, 3. All right, now here's some just kind of funky examples we have, okay? We have 6A5, for example, right? So again, like I said, the first number is the numbers wide. So you have, if you have 6 or 5 direct sales that are all 6A, you are 6A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sense? 6A12-2, for example. We're actually going to use this example in one of the future slides. So a 6A12-2 means you have 12 6As wide and you're 2 levels deep, okay? So your true rank is if you're just throwing around the lingo, it's a dash 2, right? Or a dash 3 would be a 6A2-3, right? A 6A12-2, you're still at dash 2 level. You're still at 2 levels deep of 6As. But you have a massively wide team. You've made a lot of direct sales. You've put in a lot of time and energy and effort to help each and every one of these 12 people reach the rank 6A, which is absolutely amazing, right? However, only 2 of them so far have reached rank 6A2, which makes you a dash 2, okay? All right, we have some tests, and right after these tests, we're gonna end up this video, and we're gonna dive into the 6A2 and beyond bonuses, awards, incentives, and all the extra money that Enagic hands down to its leaders, all right? The people who have achieved these ranks. Now, here's a test. So what do we have? And maybe you just want to pause the video right now, and on the next slide, I'm going to show you the answers. All right, so here's number 1. We have 1, 2, 3 direct sales that are all 6A, and then some of them have some 6As under them. In test number 2, we have 3 direct sales again. All right, 3 direct sales. However, 2 of them, look at this, 2 of them, it looks like let's start from the bottom, right? And when we're looking at this structure, let's start from the bottom. So if this person's a 6A and this person's a 6A, what does that make this person? 6A2. Now we have a 6A2 right here and a 6A. What does that make this person? They're still just a 6A2, right? Because this 6A2 doesn't do too much unless this is a 6A2 as well. Make sense? So if this is a 6A2, good, we got that one set. Now let's focus on the right leg here. We have a 6A a 6A, so that's a 6A2. And the same thing here. We have a 6A, a 6A, this is a 6A2. So we have two 6A2s in our team, and then one 6A. So what do you think that would be, guys? All right, get ready. I'm going to click to the next slide. So the first example, the first test was a 6A3. We have 1, 2, 3 6As wide. However, we don't have any more 6As deep. That would make these people 6A2s. Does that make sense? And the 6A3-2, yes, we do have 3 6As wide, but the difference of the second test, the second question and the first question is 2 of your legs are at 6A2 rank, which bumps you up to a -2 level. Okay, you have 2 levels deep of 6A2s, all right, which makes you a 6A3-2. Just focus on this, right? Don't listen to what I say, just focus on it. And we got 2 more examples right here. So I'm gonna run through these quickly, guys, but if you just wanna pause your screen on this one, I'm gonna show the answers on the next page. And let me tell you, you wanna build not just in general, right? Think about this like a foundation of a building, right? And you want to get to the top of the building, all right? You want to build a strong foundation, a really strong foundation. You don't want to build a one single leg, right, all the way down. You want to build wide and deep. Does that make sense? So guys, I'm going to tell you the structure on the right is you're in a much better position for the business, and you're also putting your team in a much better position in the business with the structure on the right. But let's look at the answers. You ready? Okay, so again, regardless of how many 6As you have, this is so similar to that first test, right? You're still just a 6A3, right? And you're actually, this is a 6A2-2, so you're compared to the test number 2, right? This is a 6A3-2, right? Which is awesome. The 6A2-2, look how wide this team, it looks like almost every single 6A has multiple 6As under them. So you're gonna be able to, if you're looking at like where the weak point is in the foundation here, it's this 6A. As soon as they sprout one more 6A leg, maybe they've got a guy sitting at 5A ready to hit 6A, right? This person's gonna hit 6A2, right? This person's already 6A2. That's gonna bump this guy up to 6A2-2. This guy's already 6A2-2, and as soon as this person hits 6A2-2, you're 6A2-3. And guys, that's where the $25,000 bonus, one-time bonus comes, and the $5,000 per month retirement plan from Enagic, right? So that's the 6A2-3 level, but in this example, they're just one 6A away. All right, so that is all we have for this video. And I'm gonna turn this one off, and let me just jump back into my full screen here. All right, so I'm gonna shut this one down. This is part number 1 of 2, and I'm gonna start up part number 2. So look for a link somewhere around this page, and I will link to part 2, which is gonna cover all the bonuses, awards, incentives for 6A2 and beyond. I think I said the word 6A2 about 102 times in this video, so I'm gonna have to take a sip of water, and we'll roll into all the bonuses for 6A2 and beyond in part 2. All right.